What's up YouTube? It's Team Cardboard Gaming here and we're going to be doing a duel video. We have Burning Abyss on the left and uh, I guess it would be Odd Eyes Magician Perform Pool thing. It's not the build I posted originally. This is my friend's build. But we'll get into the video anyway. So BA wins the dice roll. Normal Fiendish Rhino Warrior attempt to special summon Scum and it gets met by a maxi. Dante's made declaring 3 and detaching the Rhino, I believe. And sending Scum. Sets a back row. I believe he's resolving Scum for M phase. So he's given the Pendulum player the card advantage by special summoning twice through Maxi. Sorry about the shaky camera, guys. We'd never stand, and that's essentially it. We'd never stand. Like, I would usually put these on my tripod, but my friend wanted his tripod back. Oh, and we have the main deck anti-spell fragrance. In where we live, where we play at locals, there's a lot of pendulums that run around. Well, me and the other pendulum player essentially. So he just decided to main it. It's also not bad against all the other matchups either. So now we've just got your standard tour guide into Fiendish Rhino Warrior plays going on here. You know, make Dante, it's just standard BA stuff. Discarding Barbar to make Beatrice. Beatrice plus anti-spell, too strong. Not resolving Barbar, I believe. And we have a scoop face from the player on the right. Yeah, sorry about the shaky camera, just in between games it's a bit shaky. So now we just have both players shuffling their decks. So this time round, the Pendulum player will go first. The BA player being a little bit salty right now. Just seeing any form, seeing that your opponent has the Kirin is just puts you at such a disadvantage in Burning Abyss. Like, me and the BA player on the left were both seeing if we could win this matchup. It's very, very difficult without the anti-spell fragrance. The Pendulum 1 of Kirin. I think the BA player is realizing that he just simply cannot play through the Kirin right now. He attempts to show the camera his hand, but he only gets half the camera, and so he's just complaining. So now we got game 3. This time the BA player will choose to start again. In this matchup, he just prays for anti-spell. It's not really much else that he can do in this matchup. Like, the only other way to try and beat Pendulum is to try and rush them with the Burning Abyss. But the Pendulum player has the maxis in the main deck because, well, it's just a good card this format, really. Tour Guide is played. It's pretty good, pretty good. I believe this is the one game that lasts over like 3 minutes. So now we have the Think, and the Pendulum player showing his spicy tech. Well, it's not even really tech at this point, but essentially just showing him he has out. And unfortunately my finger's in the bottom left corner because we didn't have a tripod, but I should have seen that while I was filming. And the Booby Trappy is milled, and Rhino is resolving. That's essentially not a very good mill, but we digress. Scum. Yeah, I'm real sorry about the finger. I didn't realize that my finger was in the camera. Unfortunately, yeah, I don't have the nicest camera. I just have my phone, but you can see the card pictures, not really the text, which is kind of annoying, but it's alright. So Graph is sent, and Sir is summoned off Graph. I believe someone tried to jump on my shoulders at this point, and I just shook like a mofo. Exceeding into another Dante. Checking his grave to see what he can do. So now the BA player just he's making Beatrice. Decides not to use that Dante. It looks very disgusting for him to do that on camera, but he does anyway. So he decides to make the Beatrice. I thought that was very strange using that one because the other Dante has more materials, so he'd have more materials for Beatrice. But I don't play BA very often, so I can't really comment on the correct line of play for BA. Well, to a point. So I believe he end-phase scums for, I'm not sure what that one was to be honest, but we'll digress. So the Pendulum player is staring down Dante plus Beatrice. That's not a very good, like it's a very, very like established board, but Pendulums can break it like it's nothing, especially since there's no back row. So the Pendulum player is using Terraforming to search Skyris. And at this point it's very strange because you've got to factor in whether or not he has Shadow Dragon in the main deck. I mean in the side deck. He fixes that issue with the Pendulum Call. So easy. Looking back on his hand, it's actually quite nuts. But it's alright. It's what Pendulums do, to be honest. Find the most efficient ways to get 5 monsters on board and then just bam. Yes, this was shot before our Friday night local. So yeah, I played Domain Monarch at this particular event. Well, not really event because it was a locals. And I played the build that I showed earlier, maybe last week or something. And yeah, I got first place at that. I have the video footage of me in the finals, but the camera quality just isn't so good. So then the Pendulum player decides to normal summon Gravekeeper's Commandant. So Jaden reads that he must have the Necro Valley in his hand if he's going to summon that. So he says he's thinking, he activates Skyris. Now, Jaden is... No. The BA player is thinking whether or not to farfa the commandant or not. Because BA actually like auto loses to Necro Valley. Like it's not auto loses, but it means Dante and Sir can't resolve. And those are like the two strongest cards of the deck since the ban list. So we decided to activate the Beatrice. Detaching Dante. I believe he's going to send Fafa or Sir. I believe I've watched it before, but I don't quite remember what he does. So he sends Sir. I honestly thought he should have Fafa the Commandant. And then played from there. So he resolves the Iris, as the plan would say, and he searches the Odd Eyes Fusion. That kind of just ruined his day. I believe if he hadn't have used the Beatrice, he could preemptively farfa the Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, but he was scared of the Necro Valley, which is a perfectly good read. And then he tries to activate Vortex, and then I have to correct them saying that Vortex is only attack position monsters. So he has live scales that can't be destroyed and can't be targeted. So that's nice and fun. The Pendulum of Janky. I've probably murdered that. And the Necro Valley activation. And the Salt comes out, but we play through anyway. At this stage, I'm very surprised that he doesn't have a Kirin. That's why he doesn't just scoop immediately, because he can play through the Janky. Unlike Kirin, you can't really play through it. And I show the extra deck at this point purely because to show that he does not have an extra deck for Vortex. I'm not sure if Jaden knows or realizes that he needs an extra deck or not. I believe he does. Like, he's played me a bunch. I'm just not sure if he realizes that he hasn't. It's just one of those, like, kind of things you forgot about. I assume he hasn't forgot about it. So now we have Jaden doing some hand shuffling. Sorry, the BA player. You can... And he just passes. I thought that was very strange. And he rips a Kirin and he just sighs. I'm actually very surprised that the BA player did not crash his Beatrice into the Janky to try and get the Janky off the... I don't know, maybe he can just pendulum it back, but... Well, he can. Now there's extra salt right now, because he has, like, Kirin plus Janky plus Vortex. Plus Necro Valley. There's a lot of pressure on the BA player's board. There's not really a lot he can do about this pressure either. Like, this is the point where the BA game just goes downhill. Like, there's not particularly a lot he can do right now. I still believe he should have attacked the Junkie with the first Dante with 2 materials. And then he would have been forced to negate the Dante attack when he and he rips the twin twisties. Yeah, so I'm not sure if the optimal play was made this game, but it's alright. I think this Twin Twister is strange also because it just gives Vortex fuel. But he believes he can chain block everything, so it's fine. And the Pendulum player believing he's quite far ahead, which he kind of is. We discard far. And deciding on targets. And then he explains, oh no, never mind, they both die. So he attempts to resolve Farfa and then he negates it, leaving him without an Oath Dragon and extra. Now this puts the BA player, the BA player in a very bad position, despite the fact that he's got rid of scales. He has to try and grind through a Vortex plus shaky Magician, which is just not very doable right now. But he's got the 3 cards in hand. The issue in this matchup is he can out his field. Like, the BA player can usually out his field, but then he can't stop the Pendulum Sum. So I don't know why I didn't pop the high scale either. So now he's just thinking, he wanted to scoop at that point, but I just said, nah, can we play for the video? Because the other games were like a minute long, and sure. Yeah, so again, this is where the game just goes downhill. It's just not a lot he can do about it. The Pendulum player is just so far ahead. It's actually ridiculous. And here we have the Corbage combo. I believe the Janky's already used his negate, so he cannot negate the Corbage. That's very unfortunate. And the BA player is very little on resources. Now this part, he decides that he doesn't want to summon that one back and forgets to kind of like declare it. So he didn't bring back Libic, he brought back Skarm. Just so the video is clear, yep. Now, I don't understand why he put... I think... Has he attacked? I don't believe he's attacked. But... That's so strange. Has he attacked? I'm not sure. So, I believe he could have just attacked the Janky and brought out Dante. Fusion Dante. I mean... You could argue that he should leave it there so we get its effect. But at the same time, it's not going to get its effect because Janky Magician is on board. So now we have the Barbar resolving to try and just like slowly like filth the game. But it's not particularly effective because the game is already very, very, very in favor of the Pendulum player. So now we just have some more thinking going along. Just looking at his grave, seeing what the play is. Just waiting. Sorry, he was looking through his deck, not his grave. So he was adding a Farfar to his hand. Yeah, not attacking with the Beatrice seemed like a very strange play to me. But, again, I'm not the best BA player in the world. I've played the deck like twice, I think. I've played it twice since Duelist Alliance came out. But, like... Is he like... thought he was pretending he had a Veiler for a second there. And I was like, what? No, he searched a Farfar. What are you doing? But no. No, he was just... I think they were just having some shit banter. Kieran is activated, and the Pendulum Kieran is... It's over. It's just over at this point, like... I just don't know why I didn't make Dante. Dante is actually a very, very, very good card in this matchup. Like, very, very strong. So now the BA player going to be left on with 2 cards in hand to try and deal with a Junkie and a Kieran. And that's 2,500 more to the face. I will hopefully be able to edit I probably can, but if I get time or whatever, I will edit in life points. I'm not sure how flash it'll be, but it should have life points. We will see. He looks at his extra deck and he realizes he's screwed, so he's going for a bait play. Like, he knows he's lost. Well, he thinks he's lost. So he's just going for a play to try and, like, trick his opponent. Like, try and make his opponent misplay. He's just thinking. Like, he has the ability, essentially, to get 2 Exceeds on board. Sorry, 3 Exceeds on board. Or, like, a Beatrice and an Exceed. Now the Alec, but not through the Janky and the Janky and the Kieran. At this point, I believe he decides 3. Milling the Scarm, I don't think that's going to matter. Another cheeky Barbar, he plays a double Barbar on the main deck because he's not playing the PK Fire build. I'm not quite sure what he banished. And the Dante is summoned from the Seer. We play by Euro rulings where I live, so you can do the chain however you want, I believe. It didn't really matter because it just doesn't. Like, he's just pointing at it like, why? This is a card, Janky is a card I considered in my list, but I kind of considered it a win more card kind of thing. Like, it increases your board's ceiling kind of thing, but it doesn't help with consistency because it's a 3 scale. The only time I really enjoyed it was when I already had when I drew Pendulum Call, but no like Magispectors or no traps, so I would Pendulum that and hope they were playing a light deck, and like it was good sometimes against the old now he's just baiting. Yep. He was just baiting him into doing it. He knew he'd lost at the stage in the game, so he just scoops. Like, he just did that play to try and bait his opponent. Alright.